Welcome to Donu's Week, which is about what I've been up to for the past 7 days. The people I've interacted with, the places I've been to, the things I've done and not done, and the thoughts I've had. Hello everyone, welcome to Donu's Week. I normally say thank God it's Friday, but it's actually Saturday morning because we had some technical hitches yesterday, so this week's video is late. Anyway, just wanted to tell you that the footage you just saw was of my auntie, Mrs. Beatrice Fisher, being drummed and danced into the cemetery in Lagos, where she was laid alongside her late husband last weekend. So I'm sharing this footage especially for foreign viewers of Donu's World, because quite a few of you have told me in the past few months that you would like to see more about Nigerian culture. And I thought that Patricia and Emma J and all the other non-Nigerians who watch this channel would appreciate seeing how Nigerian funerals are. The drumming and the dancing basically starts outside the church after the funeral service. And it continues right up till when we get to the cemetery and when the person is finally buried. And I love it personally. I like the sight of 6 men, dignified men, either in Western style suits, which is a modern twist on our traditions, or in traditional Nigerian outfits, balancing a coffin on their shoulders and confidently, rhythmically, in formation, carrying that precious cargo to its final resting place. I mean, some people don't really like this tradition. They think that the coffin should be carried in a very somber, serious, sedate way. It's a matter of taste. It's a matter of tradition. What do you think? I hope you've enjoyed that little insight into how we do things here. Okay, so after the prayers that we said at the graveside, we went back to the church hall and had a magnificent reception for Auntie Beatrice, plenty of dancing and smiling and laughing, because African funerals are as much about, they're as joyful as they are sorrowful in some ways, because the person you're celebrating has gone to a better place. We believe in heaven. And if, like Auntie Beatrice, they've lived to a ripe old age, Auntie Beatrice was 92, we just thank God for a long and fruitful life. Okay, so as soon as the funeral was over, I jumped on a plane and rushed back to Abuja, which is the capital of Nigeria, where I'm based when I'm in this country. By the way, just another quick bit of cultural information about Nigeria for those of you who say you want to know more about the country through me. Lagos is a lot more fun. Lagos is like New York. Got much better social life, much better restaurants, and frankly, I'd rather live there. However, Abuja is not that bad. less traffic. Lagos is like New York, Abuja is like Washington. It's a more sort of sedate political city, which is, for me as a journalist, a more appropriate place to live for professional reasons. So I really wanted to spend the whole weekend in Lagos, catch up with friends and just generally have a nice time. Lagos has a beach as well. So there's, it's just a more vibrant place. But I had to get back to Abuja because Nick Norbrook, who is my friend and the managing editor of the Africa Report, a magazine I work for, an international magazine I work for, was coming to Abuja on Monday, and we had a lot of work assignments to sort out. So I had to be back at my desk by Monday, and Nick arrived, and we did quite a lot of running around, talking to people about a special report we're preparing on Nigeria. The standout meeting this week was with Ambassador God knows Igali, who used to be, he's been many things, he's a man of many parts. He was an ambassador to various European countries. He was a permanent secretary in various government ministries. He is a leading light of the Nigerian Historical Association. And he is, at the moment, the chairman of PANDEF, which is an organization that represents the concerns and interests of the people of the Niger Delta, where I come from. The Niger Delta is the oil-producing part of Nigeria. It's on the southern coastline. And so I took Nick to see Ambassador Igali. It was a great meeting. Nick was very impressed by the ambassador's erudition and friendliness, and we had a great conversation. Oh, another thing that Igali is, he's also an author. And so he presented Nick with some of the books he has written and with some very useful reports about issues like the environmental degradation caused in his home state of Bayelsa by the oil industry, which you can imagine there's a lot of pollution, and there are a lot of issues around oil production and exploration, and we talked about all that. And so I just want to thank the ambassador for receiving Nick and myself so warmly and giving us so much useful information, which will eventually go into our report. Another thing Nick and I did together was appear on Arise Television together on a program hosted by Charles Aniogolu, distinguished Nigerian journalist and former colleague of mine from the BBC when we both worked in London full-time. We both still have strong connections with the UK, but we spend part of each year here. And Charles invited me and Nick onto his show to talk about the death of Raila Odinga, one of the most outstanding politicians Kenya has ever known. Now, Kenya, as most of you should know, is in East Africa, one of the top African countries. And Odinga was one of these big personalities who greatly influenced the political stage in Kenya. He was the longest serving political detainee because he was often at loggerheads with the authorities. Very impressive man. And he actually ran for president 5 times, presidency of Kenya. So anyway, Nick and I analyzed his legacy and his life. We're both admirers of him, though obviously he wasn't perfect. I mean, nobody is. And so it was nice to be able to effectively do a tribute to Odinga on TV, and may he rest in peace. And now it is time for us to do our little weekly food for thought segment. So food for thought is all about trying to identify serious thought-provoking issues that should make us pause and reflect. And what I want to talk about today, briefly, is health. I talk about health all the time, but today I have a particular angle on it. I turned 66 a few days ago. And nobody expects to be in perfect condition when they're 66. I mean, hey, my next big birthday is 70. So I'm definitely not going to be as strong and whatever as younger people. However, I am in far worse shape than I need to be. And this is because I neglected my health chronically for decades. I started smoking heavily when I was 18 and I didn't stop till less than 10 years ago. I put on a lot of weight maybe 6, 7 years ago because of some medication I was taking. So it wasn't my fault that I put on the weight and became obese. But I didn't, when I stopped taking the medication, I did not address the need to lose that weight quickly enough. And I'm still carrying a lot of excess weight. So I have bad knees, painful knees. I have lung damage caused by heavy smoking and by carrying too much weight around. I have had issues with diabetes. And what I just want to say to those of you who are in your 20s, 30s, 40s, 50s, even 60s or 70s, who haven't yet messed up your health, don't do it. Okay? It may seem like fun at the time to smoke and drink heavily and do all the things, the bad things that we're not supposed to do. Eating whatever you want, whenever you want, even as your weight is creeping up. I'm sure that, well, I know for a fact that there are pleasures associated with doing what you want. But believe you me, the payback, the negative payback, it's just not worth it. You know, I wish I was a super ager. Super agers are people who are as healthy for their age as they could possibly be. So I could be still quite strong at 66. You know, I could be marching around instead of limping because of my knee or being breathless because of my lungs. I could be wearing stylish clothes instead of always having to wear kaftans or loose things because I'm so fat. So, you know, like I said, my mother used to talk about deferred gratification, which basically means making sacrifices as you go along so that you can have better long-term outcomes. And I do really regret the lack of respect I've shown towards my body. Because you know what? If you respect your body or take care of your body when you're younger, your body will take care of you in old age. And you will have the best possible experience as you get older. Instead of, you know, I'm too fragile for somebody of my age. And I've been like this for the past 5 or 10 years. So that's the thought for today. Please respect your body, cut out the sugar, do the exercise, control the weight, don't smoke, don't even vape, because you're not going to believe this, but I still vape. I smoke electronic cigarettes. So that's better than the real cigarettes, but it's still not good for the lungs. And that's my next challenge, is actually, alongside losing weight and exercising, my next challenge is to stop vaping before the end of this year. So my food for thought for this week is for people to think about what the physical abuse they inflict on their bodies will do to them as they get older. And take it from me, just keep on thinking and remembering that struggling as you get older, it's not fun. Definitely all those meals I shouldn't have had, all that sugar I shouldn't have had, all those exercise classes I didn't go to, all those cigarettes I smoked, it's not worth it, you know? So, as I've said before, don't copy me. Do the sensible thing. Thank you.